Hey everyone, welcome back to Optimize Evony. I wanted to do a follow-up video to the video yesterday on the pink gem scandal that has been going on and the reaction to it, I guess. So basically, for those of you that didn't watch the last video or, have stuck your head in the mud, don't know what's going on in the Evony community right now, it is a bunch of craziness. So there were a bunch of high coin players that have essentially taken advantage of a glitch and pack loading to get super reduced price gems called pink gems in the Japanese culture, I believe. And so uh, because of that, Evany basically found out about this eventually, and they cracked down on it. And so, as of yesterday, they had said that. Let me see if I still have the mail here. Looks like they might have deleted it. Um, No, okay, this is not the same one. But basically, they had banned or well, not banned. They had taken action against 668 accounts that they reduced power from, took gems, took troops, all of that from, and so basically some of these players were very high profile players. So Kingster from Hot, King Sing, Shri, Viper, a lot of big players and big YouTube personalities. And so because of that, there has been a lot of outrage. There's been a lot of, questions about what's going on and stuff like that. Even if you look at, my most recent video, some of the responses and comments are a little bit mixed on this. And so uh, I have in the past day, I've watched, all of the content that's come out from Sing did a video, Viper did a video, and it's been kind of across the board. The people who have gotten caught in this scandal basically are trying to explain themselves and the reasons why they did it and why it's not just building back power. Because basically what they did is they took their gems and their troops, and so a lot of people are like, well, okay, that's fine. You can just build back power. You can build back troops. I'm actually a little bit on that side because for me, I use alts. I use uh, a lot of resources to try and gain an advantage in the game because I'm not willing to spend the amount that other people are able to spend. And so for me, if I had been able to, I mean, I'm not saying that I would have done this, but you know, being able to coin a bunch and get the civ gear, get the cake rewards, the castles, all of that kind of stuff for very reduced prices, and then even if the troops are taken away, even if the gems are taken away, that stuff still stays. And so there were even some people who were like, yeah, I mean, if I would have known about this, I would have done it because, power is easy to build back, but the coining is hard, which I agree with that approach. But basically, if you watch Sing's video, if you watch Viper's video, they made a lot of comments about it. Some will see them as excuses, some will see them as, them just trying to explain why they did it. But basically, they they were made aware of this uh, loophole in the game where you could buy super reduced price gems, and they were aware that a particular alliance was doing it. Nobody said the alliance that they were talking about, but I'm going to hazard a guess that they are probably talking about HOT. This alliance like grew crazy fast and grew crazy powerful uh, in the last, like maybe 6 to 9 months. And you can see that one of the not this person, one of the people that was hit by this power reduction was indeed Kingster. So, which is, he's kind of the rally lead and maybe even the alliance lead there. So nobody said it explicitly, but I'm assuming that this is the alliance that everyone's kind of talking about, that they knew about it before anyone else. Maybe I'm wrong on that. If I am, sorry to HOT. Nothing against you, except for the people who took advantage of this. And you can see that that they have a ton of really big accounts, and basically what what both Singh and Viper said that they were kind of upset about is they were made aware of this rather late in the game, and they basically only took advantage of it for a week. Um, and I think they coined a ton in a week, which is probably how Evany, figured out about this. They then, patched it and took this recovery action. But it seems like this previous alliance had been taking advantage of it for many months. And so, uh, but that previous alliance had not had a lot of actions taken against them. Maybe they knew that something was coming down the pipeline, that they were going to start getting bans and troop reductions and gems getting taken and stuff like that. But I don't know. That was kind of their big point, is that RSP, VIG, and some of these other alliances were hit super, super hard when the other alliance that had maybe started all of this had not. And again, nobody really named names, so all we can do is speculate. Uh, but they did get a lot of rewards for that. They did get a lot of changes from that. So I'm not sure if anyone else noticed, but I was watching Singh's videos like maybe a week ago or something, and then his most recent video, and I noticed that for a while he had been at like VIP 20, I think, and then all of a sudden he was at VIP 22, which to me was like, wow, that is a huge jump to make in like a week or two, or even a month. That's a ton of coining, and so that was what kind of tipped me off, like, oh, like there might be something weird going on here. And so I am curious if Evany essentially let these players keep their VIP level, because that's kind of incredibly crazy to me. Because if you were getting VIP level for all these super super cheap purchases that you were making, and you're up to VIP 23, 24, 25, like that's a huge difference in terms of one, buffs, and also benefits that you're getting ahead of the other people that have not been able to make these uh, cheap, uh, glitched, illegal purchases, pack loaded purchases, whatever you want to call them. And so because of that, you're getting extra buffs there, and you are also getting these extra free gifts. And these get even better. I mean, I'm only VIP 17, so they get much better as you go up. So I still, of course, both Viper and Singh have said that they might be quitting. I can understand that. I mean, they feel like they were kind of taken advantage of, that the punishment uh, was not distributed fairly, which I can see their reasoning, and I can understand that, particularly if they know about other players that had been taking advantage of this a lot more and were not punished for it. But at the same time, I think everyone who was doing this knew what they were doing was not in the interest of the game. This was not something that that Evany was a legitimate Evany purchase, right? If you're doing pack loading, if you're doing all kinds of glitches to buy reduced gems, you know that that's going to be fixed eventually. You know that they're going to take recovery action because you're hitting them where it hurts, the wallet, right? And so you knew what you were doing was not the right thing to be doing in terms of fair gameplay. And everyone's kind of saying like, oh well, everyone else was doing it, so I felt like I needed to do it to keep up. That was another argument that was thrown out. I understand that argument. Peer pressure is huge, and especially when you're trying to compete with people who have crazy buffs, that's huge. I completely understand that. I completely you know uh, understand why you would feel that way because, quite frankly, that's how I feel in a lot of our battlefields. Is a team with 5 players that have really amazing buffs can beat my entire team. It doesn't matter, what we send at them or what power we are or anything like that. Like the buffs are just going to be so much better than our buffs. And so if you're trying to compete at the high level and if someone has significantly higher buffs than you, then yeah, I totally understand that would be a reason why you would want to do this. Is it fair? No, it's not fair for them. It's not fair for the rest of us who were not able to take advantage of this. And it is against Evany's best interest, so they are going to retaliate against you. So I mean, I hope a bunch of people don't quit from this, but I mean, ultimately, I don't think that anyone who was doing this knew that what they were doing wasn't wrong. I think they basically got convinced that it was okay because Evany had never done something like this and Evany and like they had gotten references that like certain players had been doing this for a long time and had not had any repercussions. And so because of that they felt safe about doing this. What they were doing was not safe though. So I think, I'm sorry, but you have to take the punishment. You have to accept it. Like, sure, okay, if you want to quit, that's fine. That's your deal. But I mean, don't blame Evany for this. Don't blame, anyone else for this. You knew what you were doing was not the right thing to be doing. So I think it'll be super interesting to see how this affects challenge, how this affects, All Stars, which will be happening, shortly after challenge. But as most people have been saying, any of these accounts that have these crazy buffs, even at their power ranking now, uh, they could build five billion power or 6 billion power and still be a stronger account than my account. And a lot of that coining was done before this scandal kind of came out. But yeah, it's their accounts are not worthless. Their accounts are not done. Hopefully, a whole bunch of people don't quit, but if they do, that is their decision, and I wish them the best in everything else. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think this is a little controversial, but I mean, still, ultimately, everyone knew what they were doing was wrong. So yeah, I mean, everyone will give you their sob story that got caught. Like, oh, I thought this was fine. Like, oh, I knew that this was okay, but ultimately people didn't. So, uh, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.